Hey everybody, it's Marshall Monk here, and this is going to be my Shazam movie review. I'm so excited to be reviewing this movie for you guys. I actually just went to the fan screening yesterday that Fandango put out. Apparently there are going to be more, I think like next week before the movie comes out, 2 weeks from now. So I would check those out if you want to see the movie early. So that's why I decided to do this review now. So of course, as you guys know how movie reviews work, we're going to do first half non-spoilers and second half spoilers review. But before we do that, please go down to the link below in the description and follow my Twitter. We do updates on when videos are coming out. I've been talking a lot recently about the DCEU and the MCU on my Twitter. So we have those conversations a lot. And again, there'll be updates on when things are coming out and stuff like that. So go follow that. So all right, now let's talk about Shazam. So let me just say, first of all, I like this movie. However, even though I've been rooting for this film, after I saw it, there was some things that kind of popped up as red flags to me. But I didn't necessarily love about the movie. And I think that the movie, it's really successful. I think it has like a 97% on RT, right? And people seem to really like it, which is great. But one thing that I'm going to be saying a lot through this video is it's fine. Reason why those two words are going to pop up a lot is because even though there's a lot of problems to me with the movie in certain parts, not the movie overall, but with certain parts, it's fine because the great stuff about this movie really does take care of that stuff, right? It really keeps you intrigued and keeps you in, right? So let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about the bad first to get it out of the way, all right? And then we're going to talk about the good. There'll be some stuff we'll save for the spoiler half, but we're just going to talk about overall my problems with the movie as a whole. All right. So first of all, this movie is so falsely advertised, it actually hurts. There's nothing about this movie in the ads that correspond to the film in its entirety, like at all. I mean, it's the same thing that people are saying about Captain Marvel, right? It's like, you know, where it doesn't show the true passion for the movie and the true meaning of it. But I think this one tops that. I think this one tops that to an 11 because nothing like the trailers are like the movie. It's insane, right? I mean, the movie, surprisingly, is very nuanced. It's very, like... and it's also very, like, dark. It's darker than the trailers would perceive it as, which is funny. Now, that can be nuanced, which it was in the movie, but there's also some points where I was like, and we'll talk about that. The reason why I think that that's an kind of feel for the movie is because I think that the tone is just kind of all over the place. Not as in tone for the mood of the film, but tone for who is your target audience. That's what someone should have asked David F. Sandberg when he was making the movie. I mean, it could be ranging from small kids, like really small kids, and those were who were in my screening, were a lot of small kids, to all age families, right? Someone, you know, families who could go see other comic book franchises, right? To comic book fandom, right? To DCEU fans, right? Just solely those, which is what Zack Snyder was kind of having an issue with. Or to rated R enthusiasts, right? That there was moments where that kind of happened. So who is this targeted at? Which is probably one of the things that I would kind of talk about going forward with Shazam 2. Because you know they're going to make one if the movie's going to be super successful, right? Now the rest of the stuff that we're going to talk about, we're going to have to go into the spoiler territory for, right? So, spoiler alert, there will be spoilers in this half of the review. Okay, ready? Ready. So one thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of that target audience, right, is definitely Shazam's rated R moments, right? There are moments where I'm like, I don't think these kids should be seeing it. Like, for example, the part of the movie where you have the boardroom, right? The boardroom scene. That was really dark. I mean, that was like extremely dark, right? And then there are moments with the club, right? The strip club that they had. Like, we didn't really get to go inside of it, obviously, but they kind of threw that out there, right? So, you know, there are moments where I'd be like, I don't know how I feel about this being, you know, for this certain audience that I was in the screening with. There was a lot of, like, really young, like, really young, like 5 to 7-year-olds in there. So maybe we don't want them around that. Now, as for the rest of Shazam, what they do well in terms of those tones are great. Like, for example, the boardroom scene. If this was like a rated R comic book film, amazing. It was such a captivating scene. I mean, I couldn't believe it happened. I was like, are we really going to do this? Right? Are we really going to go in there? And then it happened, right? And I think that the 7 deadly sins were used very well there. I didn't really like them anywhere else in the movie, to be quite honest with you, because they seemed a little James Gunn, like, cartoony, right? From, like, his Scooby-Doo days, right? But, I mean, I did love that scene. I did love how intimidating they were in the first half of the film, because it really felt like, you know, monstrous creatures. But another problem that Shazam has that I don't necessarily love is that the movie is just too small. It's too small of a comic book film. I mean, like, I think it's, like, smaller than Venom, right? And Venom's a pretty small comic book film, right? I mean, it's, like, Ant-Man level. I wouldn't say, like, Ant-Man the first one, but, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp level small, which is really, really unfortunate for this movie, because I was hoping it'd be bigger, right? I'm hoping it would be extravagant, right? Because it's Shazam. It's supposed to be. I thought that that was, you know, what we were trying to go for. And again, it's fine, right? It's something that I'm going to say throughout this review. It's fine that they didn't go big with this movie. But again, I think that for the second film, David F. Sandberg should be asked, what are you planning to do to level up this character? Because if he's going to join the Justice League, if he's going to join Gal Gadot and all those characters, he's got to level up. I mean, one example that I didn't love is that in the third act, where was his lightning, right? He didn't use that power at all in the third act. It was really disappointing, like really disappointing, right? So I really would have loved to see him use his powers more frequently throughout the film. I know that he's like figuring them out, which is great. It's a real adaptation. Like it's a real, like, real life event. Like how, if someone got superpowers, how would they react? Of course, they wouldn't be using all of them at the same time. But let's be real here. I mean, you kind of have to, like, use your lightning powers. It's lightning, right? Why wouldn't you use them? So that kind of made me upset. Now, let's go on to the stuff that I loved about the movie, right? The stuff that I really liked about it. First of all, Jack Dylan Grazer and Zachary Levi are amazing in this movie. Asher Angel is really good, but, like, the chemistry between Grazer and Levi was, like, incredible. I mean, I would love to see them in a movie together later on, right? Like, if Shazam 2 or whatever other project they can do together, I'd love to see them work together again. Maybe it could be animated, right? That would be really cool. And then, of course, Mark Strong as Dr. Savannah, amazing. Like, really evil. Like, really evil. I mean, yes, we have villains like Thanos. We have villains like Steppenwolf. We have villains like, you know, Lex Luthor. We have villains like Killmonger, right? All evil villains, right? But Dr. Savannah is, like, hardcore evil. Like, I was actually really intimidated by him in the movie, especially during that boardroom scene. That was really shocking to me. And they got me with that one. You got me, David F. Sandberg. I mean, he is a horror director after all. But I think that everybody was casted very well here, and I loved all of the cast. You know, I love the diversity between all of the cast. I love the family elements, and that's something that I really loved about the movie, is the underlying theme of what family is, especially if you're not related through blood, which is really great. I actually really appreciated that quite a bit. And I think that everybody sold that aspect of the film a lot. I also loved the Shazam family, like, showing up. I would have liked to see them in the sequel, really, to be honest with you, rather than in the first movie, because I feel like you should focus on Shazam first. But then again, I was like, oh, I'm a comic book nerd, and I'm freaking out right now because of the Shazam families on there. But overall, Shazam is a fun movie. It's a really fun movie. It's a small comic book film, and again, it's fine that it's small. But I think David F. Sandberg needs to think going forward, how can we level it up? Because there's a lot of potential with Zachary Levi's Shazam, and there's a lot of potential with him in the DCEU, especially in the next Justice League film, which we'll probably make another video for. But we're just not there yet. And I feel like that's what made me think the movie was kind of lopsided, it just wasn't eventful enough, right? For, you know, in what we have today with comic book films, you have to step it up each time, and I feel like Shazam didn't really do that. But again, it's fine, because I think that the potential and what we did get in this movie saved it, sort of as David F. Sandberg's safety net, which was all the underlying themes of the film. But what did you guys think of Shazam? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree with me that some of the things in the movie are, you know, kind of felt lopsided, or kind of felt, you know, not eventful enough, right? I'd love to hear your comments down below. And what was your favorite part of the film? And if you haven't seen it, but you're still watching the video, are you going to go to an advanced fan screening? So don't forget to comment down below, like and favorite this video, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later for some more videos. Bye-bye.